Hello. So today we are doing the reverse cat eye trend. I mean, it's not a trend, it's been around for a long time, but it's kind of trending at the moment and it's been going viral on TikTok. So I thought I would show you how I created it if you are interested. If you do want to see how I got this look right here, then just keep on watching. So as you can see, I have already done my brows and everything on my base. If you are interested on what I used for my base, it is linked on my Instagram and I've got a little reel of what products I use, so I will leave that in the description box below. I've already primed the eyes and set them with powder. The eyeshadow palette that I'm going to use today is the First Class palette by The Balm. The first shade that I'm going to use is called Jackpot. And I like to use my first colour on a tapered blending brush, so this kind of really fits in the crease and blends it at the same time. So for this first colour, you basically want to just follow the natural crease. And also flick it outwards slightly, because the look we're going for is a little bit more winged out. So just follow it and then flick it outwards like so. So the next colour I'm going to use is called Raina Sheen or Shine. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And this is just to deepen up the crease. I'm going to use that on a Morphe M562 brush. So as you can see, it's a lot smaller than the first brush. So this is going to make your blending just that little bit more precise. And once again, following the natural crease. So because this brush is a little bit more smaller, it does allow you to kind of make your blend a little bit more precise, and when you flick it out it doesn't kind of disperse too far. So again, in that kind of same motion of flicking it outwards, just very light motion, so I'm hardly touching the skin. I'm just flicking it out ever so slightly. And then as always, go back in with your first brush just to blend the two together. So we're going to repeat the same two colours on the bottom lash line now. And to make your eyeshadow really pop on the lower lash line, you can use the P. Louise base. This is Rumor 3. So I always find the lower lash line always fades really quickly. So I do like to use that base there just to really make the colour stand out and to make it last longer. So just go back in with this shade Raina. I'm just going to call it Raina on a flat brush. This is a MAC 239. So we're just going to pop that on the lower lash line, just all the way across, and kind of connect it to that winged out shape that we created earlier on. And with a clean pencil brush, I'm just going to go underneath that eyeshadow just to diffuse the edge. But I haven't got anything on my brush because I don't want to bring this colour down any further, because it is kind of meant to be a bit more of a like winged out shape. You want to keep the depth on the outer corner rather than right at the mid part. So at the moment, obviously, it doesn't have much depth until we use like the darker brown, but I always like to start with a lighter brown just to kind of map out my shape, and then we can go in with eyeliner in a second. I'm just going to finish off the top eyelid with the shade Know a Lot. So this is such a nice gold colour. It's like a true gold. I love how it's not too yellow, it's not too kind of cool. So I'm going to use that on a clean flat 239, and I'm just gonna pop that all over the lid just to add a little bit more dimension, a little bit more shimmer. Okay, so next is the fun part. So we're going to go in with black eyeliner. So you can go in with any one that you like, but I would recommend maybe going in with a pencil that is quite long wearing and then doesn't kind of smudge everywhere or move. This one, I actually don't know where I got it from, but it says Lord and Berry on it. But I like this because it's really black, really kind of creamy, but then it does set down. So you do kind of have to work quite quickly. So I'm just going to pop this in the waterline first. So pop it in your waterline all the way across from the inner to outer corner. And then, ooh, lighting went a bit funny. And then kind of work it into your lash line. Now you don't want to put too much on the bottom lash line, because then I find you've almost got too much product on there and then it ends up being too thick on the lower lash line. I personally feel like a feline kind of reverse cat eye looks more flattering when it's kind of nice and neat into the, well, not into, but kind of slightly underneath the lower lashes. But do whatever works for you or whatever you prefer. Then once you've kind of got it into your lash line, you want to go in with a brush that is super firm and kind of flat. I quite like using this one from Morphe. This is the M508. So it's slightly rounded, so it's not completely flat. So basically, because it is firm, it really helps to buff out any kind of liner. But at the same time, it's not too flat where it's just going to create like a really sharp line, because you do still want to diffuse the eyeliner. So go right underneath your lower lash line and just buff that eyeliner kind of underneath, because the more you buff, the more product you get on the brush, and then the further down it kind of blends basically. So that's the reason why I was saying you don't want to put too much eyeliner underneath, because you end up blending it as if you've got it on your brush. You've like picked it up and then put it onto the lower lash line, whereas you're literally just using the excess product to move it basically. So just buff it back and forth. Don't bring it down too low. So you can see the difference between this eye, and that is literally just using the excess product. And to get the winged out shape, so what I find best is to just use the excess from the lower lash line to kind of flick up and map out your shape before you really commit. Because sometimes if you go in straight in with eyeliner and create your shape, and then you've kind of got too much going on, and then you try and smudge it out, and then it kind of goes too far. So it's always best to start with less. So I'm literally starting from the outer corner. I'm hardly touching the skin. Every time I touch the skin, I'm flicking it in very, very light motions. And if you hold your brush kind of at the mid part of your handle, literally just using the excess product from the liner, and then you could obviously leave it at that, or you could go over it and make it a little bit more black. So for the inner corner, we're going to kind of do the same sort of technique. I'm not going to use any more product to create the shape. So for the reverse cat eye, there's kind of like a wing on the outer and the inner part. So this is kind of the hardest part to do. I'm basically kind of like squinting my eyes and just using the excess product to kind of lightly bring down the line. So the good thing about using the eyeshadow, you're kind of like mapping out your shape, and then you can intensify it once you're happy with the shape. Once you're happy with the shape, we're going to go in with liquid black eyeliner to intensify what we've already created. So you can just skip this step, but I do find just adding a little bit of liner over the top of that black eyeshadow, it's just going to re-intensify it and just make it look that little bit more sharp and give it more of a contrast. So the eyeliner that I'm using is the black liquid eyeliner by the Balm. I'm not even Schwing. Oh my god, that name is hilarious. I can't say it, but it's this one here. So I'm literally just doing a very, very thin liner on my upper lash line, because you don't want to kind of compete with the lower lash line, because then it's just going to look too thick all over. So I'm just going to do a very thin line and just connect it to the top lash line as well. So not necessarily creating like a winged liner, but I am bringing it in slightly. Just adding a little bit of black eyeshadow to the outer corner of the top lash line, just to add a little bit more depth, because I found it was just like looking a little bit too like liney. But I'm doing this with eyeshadow because it's a lot softer than if I was just to create a winged liner on the outer edge. So just before I pop on some lashes, I'm just going to use the Lash Mascara by The Balm. And I was going to use half lashes, but I find my lashes are so shit that if I wore half lashes, like the inner part would be so pathetic that it literally just like jumps from like a half lash to like shit lashes. But half lashes look great with this look because you can really like exaggerate the outer corner. But I am using Demi Wispy lashes by Ardell, so that way, so these ones are just a little bit more ringed out. And lastly for the eyes, I'm going to go in with the shade Herman B Green, which is the lightest colour in the palette, and I'm just going to pop that on my brow bone just to add a little bit of highlight. Okay guys, so that is the finished eye look. I really hope you liked it. Let me know if you prefer just seeing eye looks without the skin, or if you like seeing everything. I'm just trying to make my videos a little bit shorter, just because I know it can be annoying watching long videos. No one has time for that. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you want to see next. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here, and please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and you'll see me in my next one. Bye!